That's a great question. Probably because I'm from South Texas. It's probably 2 hours from my hometown, and it's kind of I've known about Sol Ross for a long time. So when it opened and I got a call,
Can you introduce me to the two young men to your left?
well, that's our defensive DB, B Mark. He had all right spring. He's still got some stuff to work on, and my big guard right here, I felt bad for him, so I brought him on that. He's been trying to get too skinny this summer, so I wanted one free meal at least. But both these kids are example of what we're looking for. Blue-collar kids do great academically, shown up, been leaders, excited about their future and what they bring to the table for us.
Trayvon, I want to start with you. You kind of got thrown in the fire there in Sol Ross's first year in Division II. Can you tell us a little bit about like the biggest difference that you know, the biggest adjustment from going from D3 to Division II?
I feel like the biggest adjustment is just really the competition. I mean, it's competition and intensity, really. I feel like with practice and everything, with game, you got to be more locked in and more just attentive to things going on around you.
Brendan, you've seen a lot of change at Sol Ross, right?
Sure.
Whether it's Division III, Division II, now with a new coach. I'm curious, what was your first impression of Coach Hayes, and how has the team responded to the new staff?
Yeah.
Why are you sitting up there?
He definitely changed the structure for sure. As soon as he got in, he was very hard on us, made sure we was working out hard, running hard, and putting us in the best condition to get ready for the season.
Coach Hayes, you're inheriting a team with 3-8 in his first Division II season. When you addressed your players as head coach for the first time, what was your message to them?
Just control what we can control. The one thing that we can promise is hard work, and we're going to build with kids who want to put that work in and want to play hard and play physical and move forward with them.
Trayvon, this was an offense that had its moments, but at times it struggled against some of the tough defenses here in the Lone Star Conference. I'm curious, as a unit up front, what are you guys focusing on, and what can we expect from the Lobos offense?
I feel like you can expect more physicality for sure. We got to improve on that. I feel like, especially more chemistry. We're going to try and build that coming into this next season as well.
And Brendan, finally, you had a huge year last season. I think anybody who watched you at Wagner could have seen that coming. You were second team All Lone Star Conference, and now you enter your senior year. What are your goals for the season, and what's your goals for the defense especially?
As a whole, as a team, I want to win more games for sure. And the defensive-wise, I want to get more turnovers and help the offense as much as we can.
Coach, you think that's a reasonable expectation?
Sure is. I mean, you help with offense. We need all the help we can get.
Folks, let's give it up for the Sol Ross State Lobos. What signs of progress and improvement have you seen? What has you encouraged about the trajectory of this program?
First, our only goal is to improve every single day. That's the only thing that we can control as a group, whether it's our staff or our players. So that's what we ask of them. We saw a ton of improvement from 23 to 24, despite not having some of the wins come our way. But I know that the last 4 weeks of the season, we had our chances. We just weren't big enough, deep enough, strong enough, tough enough, fast enough to finish out games. And so that's what I hope that we see this year is, with the work and retention of these guys who've been in the program 2-3 years now, opportunities to be in games late and now being good enough to hopefully finish some of them.
Can you introduce us to your star players?
Yeah, we got offensively a wide receiver, Deuce Zimmerman, out of Alaska, and Cole Lama from Arizona.
Deuce, I want to start with you. You were one of the Lone Star Conference's real breakout stars last year, an all-conference pick as a sophomore. Can you tell us about what worked for you last year, and what are you working on now to kind of elevate your game for this year?
What worked for me last year, just trying to stay consistent. I got hurt towards the beginning of the year, so I came back from my injury, working hard, trying to get the ball, working hard every day in practice, trying to make my teammates better, trying to make myself better. So just consistency is the key for me. And right now, just trying to get better every single day. You can't just try to be better than the day before, so yeah, that's really much it.
Cole, you've also got a spectacular resume. 2023, you're the Defensive Freshman of the Year. Last year, you led the team in tackles. So what's next for you? What's that goal for you that you're setting yourself for 2025?
I think a goal for me would just try to help out the team a little bit more than I did last year. Create some more turnovers, more interceptions, fumbles, and stuff like that.
Coach, as we saw, you guys are picked 9th in the conference. Are you the kind of guy that uses stuff like that as is this going on the bulletin board as soon as we get home?
No, maybe I should be, but I couldn't care less. I'm an offensive lineman to my core, so I'm just going to get in every day and do the work. And, those results are based on history, right or wrong. And obviously, we've put ourselves in that spot to be voted there, so it is what it is. But
So, then how do you keep your guys motivated and keep them kind of driving forward?
yeah, it's the same perspective of growing our culture and being better than we were the day before, kind of like Deuce just talked about. And for us, it's comprehensive. As men, the culture of our team, as football players in the classroom, everything we do, we want to be great. And so that's what drives us every single day, and I hope that's what drives our program to some success on the football field as well.
Deuce, Coach mentioned that you're a local kid. I'm sorry, that's actually wrong. You're a graduate of East Anchorage High School in Alaska. First question is, what are you doing here? Like, how do you get to Western New Mexico from Anchorage?
Hop on a flight. Little 5.5-hour flight to Phoenix, then drive 4 hours to Western New Mexico.
There you go. That's how you do it. So what culturally and all things considered, what has been that biggest adjustment from Alaska to New Mexico?
Nothing really. Like, it's cold in Alaska, but like it snows in Silver City, New Mexico, so it's not really big of a difference. Football's big in Alaska. People don't think that, but it's big in Alaska. Sports is really heavy there, so not much really of a change for real.
Cole, I'm interested as a guy who's started in this conference for a couple of years now. The Lone Star Conference has a ton of high-flying offenses and a ton of variety of different offenses. So what challenges does playing in this league present to a defense that you're leading?
Just trying to control the guys, like all the skill guys they have. Got a lot of fast receivers, fast running backs, big, strong quarterbacks, big O-lines. Just got to find a way to work around this stuff and find ways to, how would you say that? Like, control them and try to keep them in check.
Folks, let's give it up for the Mustangs of Western New Mexico. You're in your third year of your second stint here at Eastern New Mexico. And, wins have been a little harder to come by in the second stint than it was in your first stint. And I'm curious what lessons you're taking, what you're looking back on that first time here where you guys did have so much success, that you're applying to get this program, turned up into the right way.
Well, I think we're trying to get back to playing the style of football we played when we were having a lot of success, which is being extremely physical, being mentally tough enough to win close games in the fourth quarter, being disciplined, limiting penalties, and some of those things. And I think we're making strides, and with young men like these two, I think it's going to come to fruition this year.
Speaking of these two, can you introduce us to your friends?
Yeah, right here's Christian Griego from Los Lunas, New Mexico. He's going to be going on a 4-year starter for the Greyhounds, and Matt Corteri from Raton, New Mexico, going to be a linebacker, going to be a 3-year starter.
A lot of experience here, and Christian, I want to start with you. You've seen ups and downs for this offense, and from your perspective, what's the key to improving that offensive production for you guys in 2025?
A key to it is just staying healthy. We had a lot of injuries last year that kind of set back the offense, but when we're all healthy, we're all flying on a high. It's really easy for this offense to just get going.
Matthew, you were among the conference leaders last year in tackles, and you quickly became a centerpiece of this defense. Tell me about the new leadership roles that you're taking on and what your goals are for this defense in 2025.
Yeah, so trying to keep everybody on the same page. We're running a new defense this year, got a new defensive coordinator, so trying to install and get everybody caught up. Guys that have been there all through summer, we've been at the field, and just trying to get everybody on the same page and play as one.
Coach, do you have a feeling quite yet? I think we've seen enough of your teams to know what you want to establish, what you guys look like at your best. Do you have a feeling quite yet about how this year's team may be different from past year's teams?
Yeah, one of the things that I've noticed when we've been successful is in spring ball, the second half of spring ball when you scrimmage, it gets really hard to move the ball against your defense because they've, seen you and they understand what you're doing. And maybe the last few years it wasn't. And this year in spring, it was really hard to move the ball against Matt and those guys. So I felt like we've made some huge strides on that side of the ball. And that usually in the past has meant that we were going to be pretty successful that year.
Christian, Coach mentioned that you're a New Mexico guy, Los Lunas, 4-year starter. Can you just tell us a little bit about what it means for you to represent this state and to put on that Greyhounds uniform?
It means a lot. Going into the Lone Star Conference as a New Mexico team, a lot of people overlook you. You're not supposed to be in this conference. It's Texas, but just being able to represent New Mexico in the Lone Star Conference, it just means a lot. Being able to go out there and play every day, like it might be your last.
Matt, I have to ask you because I was browsing the roster, and you have a distinct last name, and yet there's another guy, Dylan, who has also a linebacker. I presume you guys are related.
Yeah, we're twin brothers.
Yeah. One other thing that I noticed is that you are listed as 1 pound heavier than him. Is that intentional? Did you go to the roster people and be like, I need to be 221?
No. So last year he was playing edge for us, and he was actually about 10, 15 pounds heavier than I was, and he's lost a lot of weight now. So he's moving back to a second level linebacker. Now I'm heavier than him. So yeah,
So this is new for you.
Yeah, I've always been bigger though, growing
Oh,
up. So
got it. What is it like, on a serious note, what is it like playing with your brother out there?
oh, it's fun. Like we fight, like we bicker, but it seems like we're always going to be on the same page, always have each other's back, and it's amazing. That's the whole reason I committed to Eastern, was how many people get to say they played college football with their twin brother.
It's pretty cool. Let's give it up for the Greyhounds of Eastern New Mexico. You're laughing already. From year one that you're going to take into year two.
Well, I think the big thing is, like everybody knows in here, you're going to make a lot of mistakes your first year. Made a lot of mistakes, obviously, with the record and what have you. But the biggest thing is, obviously, you've got to have guys that are loyal to your program. You've got to have coaches that are loyal to your program, and you've got to be disciplined. And I probably laxed on that too much when I took over after Coach Maskell. And obviously, we had to, change that trajectory this spring. So looking forward to seeing what the fall has in store.
I know you're looking forward to seeing these two guys on the field. Can you tell us about them?
Oh, great guys. I tell you what, I couldn't do my job without these guys. First to my left here is Cameron DeVault from Houston. He's a fifth-year guy. I only have 5 fifth-year guys left. I know that's kind of fading out. And obviously, Kelby Hickerson, another fifth-year guy, actually a 6-year guy, was up here with me last year as a senior. Broke his ankle during two-a-days, or not two-a-days, but fall camp, and we missed him the whole year, so it really hurt us. As he's an impactful player on the offense side of the ball.
Cameron, I want to ask you first. You were really disruptive off the edge last season. What are you focused on heading into your senior year to kind of go out with a bang?
Getting to the quarterback more. That's been my main focus all off season. I done had the tackles, I done had the TFLs. I'm trying to get to the quarterback some more. That's it.
Kelby, I want to ask you about doing the dirty work there in this offense. This is an offense that asks a lot of you, and it's not necessarily running out and catching the ball a lot. So how do you embrace that mentality of going out there and being like, you know what, I'm probably not going to be in the headline with a win tomorrow in the paper, but that you are able to go out there and do the work that needs to be done? How do you explain that mentality?
There's no I in team for me. I've told Coach Renner, I've told Coach Kirk when he first came in, I'm willing to do anything for the team, whether it's block, whether it's pass set, whether it's go out for a catch. So whatever we got to do to get a win, that's what I'll do.
Coach, you're a Midwestern State OG, right? 18 years as an assistant before you become the head coach. You talk a little bit about kind of the transition there from a professional level, from a personal perspective. How has that transition been to the big chair for you? Do you still walk into the wrong office sometimes?
No, I don't walk into the wrong office, but I tell you what, I've got a great staff. I'm very thankful and very blessed to have who I have. But you got to understand there's some other guys in this room that have been here just as long, if not longer, than I have in the Lone Star Conference. And I know I'm OG now. Ironically, that I was the young G, or the rookie, when I first got here in 2000 in the Lone Star Conference. But I've been very blessed to be at the same place for going on my 19th season. Been very honored to coach under Coach Maskell for all these years and learned from him, which was a great one. And and then obviously, I got to give a shout out to my man Trey Reed for that just left us, that took another job and obviously taking another career change, and we're going to miss him. This is the first time I think in 17 years we missed him, but I've been surrounded with a lot of people that have been very influential in my life to be able to guide me and prepare me for this situation. So I'm very blessed and fortunate.
Cameron, Coach mentioned that you're a Houston guy. Specifically, you're a Clearbrook guy. Played for John Taos there, Clearbrook. We're going to talk some high school football. Can you tell me a little bit about how playing at Clearbrook, playing Texas high school football prepared you to be the guy you are there for the Mustangs?
Well, when I played at Brook, I had 4 different head coaches in 4 years. So I was just playing for the love of football. I don't play for nobody else. I play for the man next to me and for myself. So that taught me loyalty. It taught me just play for the love of the game and nothing else.
And Kelby, finally, you also a Texas guy, Austin Anderson. There are a lot of new faces on this offense, right? How are you approaching, as a senior, kind of your leadership role on this offense, knowing that more is going to be asked of you that doesn't involve, blocking and tackling?
I take it on. So if they ask me to bring a new guy in and show him the ropes and show him how we got to do things, I'll do it. And I know we've had a lot of new people that we want to keep building, Midwestern and things like that. So I got to show them the ropes one step at a time.
Folks, the Mustangs of Midwestern State. Coach, you're entering your 3rd season there as the head coach there in Canyon, and there's been improvement, steady improvement, and maybe leading towards that breakthrough. So let me just offer you the floor. What is the state of the Buffs right now in your head?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, we're 3rd year, continual improvement. This is the year that we need to go out and we need to continue improving and keep improving and keep stacking what we've already started.
Well, you're going to be able to do that with the 2 guys next to you. Can you tell us about them?
Absolutely. First on my far left here, Cam Manahan, junior defensive back out of Lubbock Coronado High School. And then right here, Canyon Ives out of Denison, Texas, offensive tackle.
Canyon, I want to start with you. You stepped up in a huge way last year, playing in 9 games. Tell me about this offensive line unit and what has you excited about them heading into 2025?
We had a lot of guys that came in with me that are still going to be here this year. And so we built, a great relationship with everybody, and we have a great base to build off of. And I'm just excited for the future.
Cam, Coach mentioned you're a Lubbock Coronado guy. You've always been a ball hawk. You had 4 pick sixes for Coronado back in your junior year. In the home opener last year, you had that 61-yard interception return. Tell me about, but that doesn't come, at the corner position very much. Tell me about your mindset as a corner, as far as being aggressive versus, sitting back. Tell us that allows you to be that kind of ball hawk.
I would say off looks, most people would just be like, oh, he's a little corner, we're going to go at him. So I got to definitely bring like a different mentality to the game. And so that's just kind of how I go about myself. The person in front of me, he either going to get in me or I'm going to get in him. And then, so that's kind of how I go about that.
Coach, you've been relentless in preaching culture there at WT. Relentless. And what does that mean to you? And how well do you feel like that culture change is taking there in Canyon?
Yeah, I think if you look at it, it's probably the most important piece, right? The locker room piece, getting everybody on the same page, getting guys who care about each other both on and off the field. I think every coach in this room, that understands football, that you can't win games until you like each other and you really care about each other. And we harp on that every day. And I do believe we got a group of young men right now, especially what they've done over the summertime, what they've done in the spring, that we do got a bunch of young men that care about each other, and it's that's going to carry over this year.
Now, Canyon, you guys do have a new offensive coordinator this year, Justin Bain taking over. What have you noticed about him, and what should we expect from the Buffalo's offense in 2025?
I got one word, and it's explosive.
Yeah.
We're going to have an explosive offense. He has put nothing but belief into us, and he let us know that the best players in America are going to play at West Texas A&M.
And finally, Cam, you're really in a unique position to talk about this because you transferred from Central Oklahoma a year ago. What is different about the Lone Star Conference? You've been through a year now here. What is different here that makes this such a tough conference to play in?
I believe that everybody in this conference believes that they're the ones that's looked down on. So like that they're not the best Division II conference or they're not the top Division II conference. So I believe that everybody plays hard. Everybody is trying to bring their best at you every time that you line up.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the truth. Folks, the Buffs of West Texas A&M. I mentioned earlier about how I'm not responsible for the poll, but you guys don't believe in the poll. Last year, you guys were picked 8th in the conference. You finished 6-3, contending for a title into the final week. How do you cultivate that kind of underdog mentality to exceed those expectations?
Well, first of all, we're fortunate to be able to play in the Lone Star. We know that every game's going to come down to 5 or 6 plays, and we really preach that. We have to be more physical, more disciplined than our opponent, and they're tremendous athletes in this conference and coaches. So we just work on every day how do we improve just a little bit because we know it's going to be a close game.
Can you tell us about the 2 gentlemen to your left?
Yes, we have fortunate to have 2 older players, both seniors from Hawaii that have really developed in our program. Kainoa Jones only played 1 year of high school because of COVID and came in, and he'll be playing his 4th year on the field and has done tremendous things, tremendous competitor, extremely tough. The Malcolm Leofulau is a guy that's played 4 years, does special things, always around the football, whether it's a rusher, whether it's a dropper, whether it's a pass skill. He's one of those players, and I'm a defensive coach also, that comes to my office and consistently asks, how do I get better?
Kind of want to start with you. You were off to a hot start last year before injuries kind of cut short your season. First of all, how are you feeling? And second of all, like, how did that adversity kind of fuel you during the offseason?
I'll say first, I feel good right now. You know, Matt's been putting us to work, getting the boys right this offseason. And I would say it kind of was like it took a big toll on me, with my mindset, looking at the game from a different perspective. Kind of went down mid-season and kind of behind the sidelines, just kind of trying to be that vocal leader, you know, and try pretty much keep the guys' heads in the game, knowing that we had a bunch of injuries, you know, so.
Yeah, you guys were definitely banged up. Malcolm, you know, you were a first-team All-Lone Star Conference pick last year. In fact, you, like, personally terrorized West Texas with 3.5 tackles for loss in a game. Don't look them directly in the eyes. They're still mad. I want to ask you about what you're focusing on this offseason and what you can tell us about this year's defense.
Well, I just want to thank the coaches in this room for voting for me, and that just tells me that I'm doing my job. And this is a perfect opportunity for me to shout out my guys. From our D-line, you can look out for Najon Sterling and LJ Emo. They're both youngins that they've you know, gotten some playing time this past season, and they've showed out. And for our DBs, you can look forward to seeing more of Darren Ulrich and Tama Ma'alona. And for our linebackers, we got Aiden Murphy again, and we got some youngins up and coming that you know, will get the experience that they need, and you know, they'll play a huge part for our defense.
Yeah, high expectations, most certainly. You know, Coach, you've had all sorts of different teams in 21 years there at Western Oregon. This 2025 team, what's their identity heading into the season?
Really good question. Last year we had some really significant old linemen for them. They were big boys. They were really good starters. So that was kind of the identity of our offense. And this year, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. And every day at spring and also through conditioning, you're seeing guys develop. So we're not sure yet, as we all are, but seeing them develop and what Coach Metzger's done is over here, and their development, having over 60 guys working extremely hard to be that next player up. It's exciting to see how that develops.
Kainoa, you know, when the offense was rolling, it was one of the most dangerous attacks in the Lone Star Conference, really and truly. What are you most excited about this offense in 2025?
What I'm most excited about is our returning linemen that's going to be coming up this year. We got two-year, 3-year guys coming back, and they're getting big this offseason, so I'm ready to see them work. And we also got a couple weapons at receiver, yeah, and also in the running back position. So pretty much just, just excited, ready to get those boys on the field and get going.
And Malcolm, finally, you and Kainoa, Coach mentioned it, you guys are 2 of 4 Hawaiians on the roster, okay? Can you tell us a little bit about how, like, your island upbringing has the influence it's had on the player you are?
Yep. So yeah, we come all the way from Hawaii. This is a big opportunity for both of us, and anytime anybody from the 808 has a chance to step on stage and just anytime we get a platform, it's we live on a motto called 808 rest the world. So it's just been nothing less of a blessing, and just grateful for the opportunity to be here.
We're grateful for your time. Folks, the Wolves of Western Oregon. What can we expect from you guys offensively in this year?
We're going to have the same style of offense that we've always played with, and we're based out of an air raid, type model, and just past experiences. I've learned from some great people, and I've had great players that have contributed to that success, and a lot of good staff members, and feel blessed with the players that I inherited and that we have brought in, and feel optimistic like everybody else in here about our chances to play well.
Well, 2 of those players are joining you up here on stage. Can you tell us about them?
Yes, sir. All right. So this is Jack Turner. He's a quarterback. He transferred from Louisiana Tech, was actually with me at Navarro College also. He's from Cedar Ridge High School and Round Rock. Supply management major, graduated with a 4.0. And this is Cam D. Barrett. He's from Fort Bend Hightower. He's a junior safety, and he's an engineering major. Going to graduate in December.
I'm very frustrated because I covered both these guys in high school, and it's making me feel very old. Jack, I want to start with you. You transferred from Louisiana Tech to come here, back home in Texas, following Coach Parr here. Why was coming to Kingsville the right move for you?
I think the biggest thing was just the opportunity that Coach Parr was going to give me. You talk about you feeling old whenever people in the program call you Unc and Grandpa. You're old. So going into my 6th season, I'm thankful for the opportunity that Coach Parr has given me to play one more year, because you never know when it's going to be over.
To Camden, I want to ask you, or to Cameron rather, I want to ask you about last year. You tied for the team lead in interceptions, including a 98-yard interception return for a touchdown against Western. How do you feel like you've grown as a player entering your junior year?
Just overall stepping into a leadership role for the team. We got transfers, young guys coming in, so just trying to show them the ropes and the right way and way to do things.
Coach, you're taking over heavily in this program. 7-4 last year. This is not a rebuild, right? And got 7 national titles to their name. We know the expectations in Kingsville. What are your personal expectations heading into 2025?
Well, personal expectations, like every player, every coach in this room, we want to win every game that's on our schedule. And I have just been, just so impressed with the foundation that's been laid by Mike Salinas. We've got great leadership in our school, from the president, athletic director down, and just been completely just blown away by the support of all of our lettermen, our community, and all of the alums in Javelina Nation, and just feel, the tradition and the expectations that they've earned, and excited about the opportunity to represent them.
Jack, you arrive in Kingsville, you look around at the roster. What has you fired up about this offense when you take a look at the personnel you guys are going to have?
I would just say the chemistry that we've been able to build over the past 6 or 7 months. Just really excited for all the guys that we're playing with. It's not just 1 or 2 guys, but I feel like we have an offense that's full of guys that can play, and really a defense that's full of guys that can play. So I'm just really excited to be able to get out there with them.
To Cameron, that's actually a great transition. Jack, you're good at this. The secondary looks like it could be a real strength for you guys, in looking at your roster. What Tell us about this secondary and what has you really excited about it.
I think we have a lot of guys that play pretty scrappy coverage, and I think just the message overall moving forward is keeping the lid on the defense and, just creating turnovers.
Folks, give it up for the Javelinas of A&M-Kingsville. Coach, 3 years into your time there at UTPB, you got a share of a conference title, and you got now a Heritage Bowl berth. So what are you doing now? The arrow's pointed up. What are you doing to make sure that the arrow stays pointed up?
Yeah, I think just going back to last year, I let complacency set in after that conference title. I love the Heritage Bowl and everything they have to offer, but I told these guys earlier, I don't want to see them. I want to be in the playoffs, right? And that's all of our goals in this room. So to build off year one, year two, I did a poor job as a head coach, just letting that complacency set in. Everybody in this room has a target or the sniper rifle at your back, right? And now Angelo has the same thing. That's why it's so hard in this conference to win back-to-back. Hasn't been done since 2019. So these guys, their leadership and the guys back in Odessa right now, that's been our focal point, is just work. It doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter about these rankings, just work.
Tell us about the two guys on your left.
Yeah, far left, Tristan Exline Jr. From China Springs, and then Mekhi Pinckney from Queens, New York, grad student. He's similar boat to the tight end from Midwestern, just senior last year, lost out on that season because of an injury in fall camp.
Mekhi, I want to start with you. Well, you've been a traveling man. From Queens, New York, you go to Wagner College in Staten Island. You go to College of the Sequoias in California, and now you're in Odessa. So what have you learned from all of those places that's going to serve you here there in Odessa?
I mean, I learned a lot, honestly. It's a lot of different experience, a lot of different places, coaches. I mean, I'm just happy to be where I'm at right now, honestly. So I'm not really worried about my past. Looking forward.
Tristan, you're the preseason Defensive Player of the Year. How's that feel? And what do you want to do to build off? What are you doing right now to build off what was a really sensational sophomore season?
I'm obviously very grateful for it. Grateful for the votes that I received and everything like that. But main thing is just building a team of players that want to be here and guys that are bought in. It's not really about what I bring to the table. It's about how I can be a better leader and really bring this team together.
Coach, this team, including these two guys here, you have a number of known commodities, guys we know are going to step up. We're going to be reading about. But who's the player that you're really excited for people to find out about? Let's break some news here. Like who's the secret weapon that we're going to be talking about all year?
Yeah, well, we have 14 starters returning from last year's team, so all of those guys, I'm excited to get back. Obviously, the transfer portal hit us all in this room a little bit, but didn't devastate us. We got a lot of guys back. I won't say specific players, but the offensive line room has significantly changed over the last 2 years. I brought in a guy named Mike Babcock to be our assistant head coach and offensive line coach, and the mentality he's brought to that room has completely changed our offense back to what I want to be. So that room, you're going to see a lot of fresh faces that are really good. But the receiver room as well on offense has drastically changed, along with the D-line room on the defense has changed as well. So not going to point out names, but those positions are key pieces that we changed a little bit over the offseason.
Mekhi, he mentioned the offensive line room, and there's a lot of talent in that room. You're a grad student. We know you're going to need to step up in that leadership role. How do you embrace that leadership role in what should be a really talented group of guys?
In that room, all we know was work. I preach to our guys every day, all we know is work. Keep our head down and work. If we do our job, the offense, all we know is work, honestly. That's it.
And Tristan, finally, the last time we saw UTPB on the field, you guys were, it was a heartbreaking double overtime loss, right, in the Heritage Bowl. How much have you guys used that and like the close calls you had last year? How much have you guys talked about that as motivation for 2025?
Yeah, like McCullough touched on earlier, the complacency thing, I think that game as a whole kind of wraps up how our season went. It showed how talented we really are and how high of a level we can play at. But at the same time, we got to be able to finish games. We got to be able to win the games that we're supposed to win. And I think that as long as we keep working like we are, we'll put ourselves in a great position.
Folks, the Falcons of UT Permian Basin.
Well, I think the 24 team, I think the biggest thing about them was their relentlessness to adversity. That we said we had a lot of injuries. It was really inspiring to see guys step in that were backups all year long and not really miss a beat and still make that playoff appearance. So I'll kind of always remember that about that team, is just their ability to overcome adversity.
Tell us about the two guys you brought with.
Yeah, Chase Colson to my left. He was a 3-year starter at safety for us. Interesting. Played safety his sophomore year, started against Weber State, was maybe the best defensive player on the field against Weber State that day, got hurt, and then missed his year, and so now he's getting a year back from it. And then Slade Edwards, our starting center, All-American center for us, who's a 4-year starter for us.
Chase, I want to start with you. You know, the Wildcats defense last year, one of the best in the Lone Star Conference, and you were a big part of it. There are some key guys gone, Tanner Volk, guys like that who are gone. Can you tell me about how this year's defense may be different from last year's team?
Yeah, I don't think we're really going to necessarily change. And that's kind of our motto is like, you know, we do what we do. And as a defense, we're always the next man up and in a pursuit of perfection. So when it comes to change, you might see different faces, but the play won't change.
Slade, Coach mentioned it last year was a banner year for you. You know, All-American reigning Lone Star Conference Offensive Lineman of the Year. All those accolades, like, what do those mean to you? And perhaps more importantly, because I know you're an offensive lineman, I know how you think. What does that say about your team?
First, I'd like to appreciate all the coaches that vote for me. It's a great honor. You know, I'm one of those guys that really tries not to focus on those accolades that kind of get in the way, and I just want to win. And for my team, I think that shows a lot. It just shows that we're a united team, and, you know, a center like me, you know, I don't get the ball. I'm not the spotlight guy, but it shows that I make a big difference, and that, you know, we're a team that can play for each other, and everyone's a big difference maker.
Coach, this is going to be a bit of a new look offense, right? Graduation of guys like Tyler Flanagan. Who's the player you're excited to see step up and become the household name that in many ways Tyler was?
Yeah, I'll kind of take the note from previous coaches. Not any one individual player, but we feel really good about our running back room and being able to replace some of those guys that we lost through graduation. But, you know, we were really fortunate last year with 27 seniors. Now we've got to replace 4 starters on the O-line, the entire D-line, our back end, our wide receiver core. So we don't know anything. Matter of fact, I surprised any of you put us in the second spot here with as much graduation as we had. But we'll find out a lot in fall camp, and our focus will be Colorado Mesa on the 28th of August.
Chase, you know, last year you guys came up just short of the LSC crown. You know, tough loss to Angelo State. Then the playoffs, close loss to Western Colorado. How much do you guys talk about that, or is it we're turning the page where it's a new season mentality?
We're definitely it's a new season mentality and only looking ahead.
Yeah. And Slade, your offense specifically, we've talked about how difficult it is to defend. Can you, as the guy on the inside here, can you tell us what you think makes this offense so difficult to defend?
The big guys up front, you know.
No way.
Yeah. We got a pretty good culture for O-linemen. You know, you guys have all played us, and we're a big brotherhood kind of group, and we always try and ground and pound and run you guys out and make it hard for us. You know, if you can't stop the big 5 guys, it's hard to, you know, play football. So.
Coach, before I let you go, I did want to mention, you know, you talked about Tyler Flanagan, what a star he was. I'm actually, turns out he recently got engaged, right? Reading this, Shaughnessy Fisk, is this correct?
He did, yeah. My daughter and Tyler got engaged about 2 weeks ago, and they'll be getting married in about 2 years. My daughter's out with the Falcons right now at fall camp, and she got involved in football, and so they got to kind of wait till her career gets kicked off.
Are you going to be a tougher coach or a tougher father-in-law?
Ooh, man. Well, we're already past that part. They're engaged, so I'm good. But I have said, no offense to these two, but Tyler Flanagan was the only guy on that roster that she was allowed to date. And so, but no, blessed, unbelievable person, and very fortunate to gain a son.
Folks, the Wildcats of Central Washington. First round loss in the playoffs. So how do you assess, now that some time has passed, how do you assess what you guys were able to do in 24?
Yeah, it takes some time, especially when you end the year with a loss.
it takes some time to step back and look at what you accomplished. And, if you look at the whole season, we started 0-2. We had 2 tough road games to start the season in MIAA conference. And, we had some growing up to do after that second game and got to find a way. And we did. Our guys rallied. You hear the word culture a lot. You hear the words, the hard work that they're doing. And our guys, we didn't change anything. I think the biggest thing, the worst thing you can do is hit the panic button and change something in what you believe in. And these guys, the leaders we had in the locker room, and we had some good ones that we graduated to, they found a way to rally guys and stay focused. And we won some tight games in the Lone Star. We really did, when we were fortunate to win the thing. But at the end of the day, it came down to trusting, the culture, you use that word again, but trusting the belief of what we've been doing. We didn't change much, but, we're proud of how we accomplished things, but, it's moving forward from here.
Tell us about the 2 gentlemen you brought.
Well, I got Braden Fuller. He is from Floresville High School. It says he's a senior. He's only a junior on that part of it. So we got him for 2 more years instead of 1. And then I got Owen Seaver down there from Lampasas High School, a 5th-year senior for us in the D-line.
Braden, I want to start with you. Last year, remarkable year, 28 total touchdowns, Lone Star Conference Offensive Player of the Year, Harlan Hill finalist. You were remarkable in 2024. So how do you take that next step in 2025 and be even better?
To me, those awards are something great. It's an honor to be up for those awards and to win the Player of the Year here, but that's never my main focus. My main focus is a team, like some of the guys said earlier up here, winning games, and so just stacking what I have to do every day to make the team better and also myself, but I'm focused on, winning games and everything for the team.
Owen Seaver, Lampasas Badger, you're the 2024 Lone Star Conference Defensive Lineman of the Year, but there are new pieces on this defense. So as a unit, what are your goals for this defense for 2025?
I think some of our goals are to stay the same, honestly. We got to plug new players in and keep the ferociousness that we had, the aggressiveness that we play in, and create turnovers and tackles for loss. That's kind of our philosophy.
Coach, you start the year, you're the reigning state champs, you got the belt. You start the year as the favorite to win again. But that also means you're going to get everyone's best shot. You got the target on your back. So how do you message those expectations to your guys?
Yeah, it's easy at times to look back and what we did last year. I challenge these guys to look back at what we did in 2023. We had a really good football team coming back in 2023 after winning in 2022. And we ended up 7-3 and lost some tight games and did some things that, played really good football teams, but lost some tight games. And the ball's going to bounce your way sometimes, and it's going to bounce away from you sometimes. And in our conference, you got to play well each and every week. And we challenge them. Don't look at what we did in 2024 within the conference. Look what we did in 2023 as a reminder that you have to play well each and every week. And that's the thing that we talk about a ton. Talking about the defensive guys, we got to replace some guys in those roles. We graduated 6 first-team all-conference kids, and the thing about it that's neat though is, we've developed a lot of players recruiting high school in the state of Texas, and these kids that are coming in to replace are guys that have been in our program and have done things to kind of see how we've done it here, I guess. And so that's the neat thing about it. But it's reminders of these guys. It doesn't matter what we did last year. It doesn't matter what we've done the last 3 years and winning the Lone Star Conference Championship. It's awesome to do. But at the end of the day, it's a new season. It's new players that you met a lot of these guys today, really good football players. So we're going to have to play well, but it's an honor at that too. We respect what the Lone Star Conference is about, and we're just ready to get the season started.
Braden, you're the leader of this offense. Do you have a feeling quite yet on what's going to make this offense special, like what you guys are going to hang your hat on?
I think we're going to be very explosive this year, bringing up some of the younger guys in the receiving room and also having some of those returners coming back that got to play. In our running back room, we gained a few people in the spring as well, kind of stepping up. And so I think explosive plays are going to be a big thing for us this year.
And Owen, finally, you guys we talked about it a little earlier, you face so many different offenses when you play in the Lone Star Conference. Can you tell us a little, we hear all the time, just make the main thing the main thing. Can you talk about those core principles you guys focus on when you're facing different offenses every week that allow you guys to be successful?
Yeah, I think we try to stick to our main core principles, but each week, each offense, each talented team comes in with something new. I know today's offenses can kind of be similar, but everyone's trying to do something against us, especially leading the conference. We get a lot of different looks, a lot of new things. But at the end of the day, we're going to try to create turnovers, tackles for loss, and sacks, and try to limit big plays. We try to break it down to be a simple defense and do what we do best.
Give it up for the Rams of Angelo State.